Are you kidding me? These cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Are you kidding me? It's chopped. Why is it chopped? Why is this chopped in 2 parts? It all started as a morning live stream on Twitch, doing a fence walk after Storm Chandra, checking the fencing, and it soon turned into a shock discovery at the sanctuary. Keep watching to find out what happened. We didn't see that coming. Hello and welcome back to another video. Stomping across the frosty fields early in the morning. Hopefully we can hear some bird song and some duck song, some duck quacking, because the ducks are out joining us this morning. It actually looks on camera incredibly peaceful. It's kind of unbelievable, right? You would never think that yesterday we had 50-mile-an-hour winds and that the entire 2 fields here were completely flooded, that we were nearly lost to the water, being sucked in by the mud, and that a lot of our fencing was pulled by those strong gusts of wind and pulled out of shape. So I'm just this morning checking the borders, walking the borders, stomping, checking the parameters, making sure that none of the animals can get out and that nobody can get in. And also just aligning the fencing and making sure that all the electric wire that was pulled out by the storm gusts, the winds, is put back in place so that the current stays strong. Because if we get any breaks in the current, then all of our lovely sanctuary residents could escape. Ducks overhead. Ducks always keeping us company. They're either swimming in the pools of water, in the flood water, or they're calling us for food, or they're flying overhead, or they're sitting watching us. This is the ducks I'm talking about. I've got a big snood on because it's been -5 this morning, so it's very, very cold for us here in England. So here I'm tightening up the wire. We do proper fencing days here at the sanctuary, so we'll spend the whole day putting in new posts, making sure that any rotten wood is taken away and that we put in strong new posts, and we'll put in new strong wires as well. But today we are just fixing the slack wire that has been blown with 50-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. You just wouldn't think, looking at this landscape now, you wouldn't think this was the aftermath of a storm. Doesn't it look beautiful? It looks peaceful, it looks serene. You would never know yesterday that we were storming through flood water, that we were losing our boots, that we were getting stuck, that the winds were almost pushing us over, that the wind was pulling this fencing. See where the fencing is slack here? Hang on, let's show you. You see where it's slack? Now, this is a hazard for many reasons, because the animals could get their hooves stuck in it, but also if that drops onto the grass, it can shortcut the circuit, it can short the circuit, and it means that then there'll be a break in the circuit, and anyone could get in and the animals could get out, which we do not want. So that's what we're tidying up this morning, and I thought that I would take you all along with us. And these animals have had really harsh starts in life. They have been at threat of slaughter, or they've experienced abuse, experienced trauma. Some of them have come to us skeletal and malnourished, very, very thin, on the brink of death, and we've rehabilitated them. Some have been beaten. So they've all had very different stories. We have a Patreon that helps our sanctuary keep going. Anyone can join for £1 a month, and you will get newsletters, detailed updates that we don't share publicly. You get all the rescue stories, the rehabilitation journeys and transformations, and all of the really personal updates that we don't share to the wider world. So if any of that interests you, please do follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and then if you have £1 a month, we're also on Patreon. I am very much trying to not be out of breath for this, because I'm stomping through the frost and quite icy waters. So I do apologise if I'm heavy breathing, but it's one of those things that you can't stage really. There's been some really interesting online chat about country life, and some people are sort of country bloggers and they come out in beautiful white clothes, designer labels, and they look perfectly turned out. Well, this is country life. Look at the state of me. Hang on, here we go. I'll try and show you. Look, mud on my knee, mud all over me, jompers, slightly baggy, a thermal jumper that's got a little kangaroo pocket covered in mud. See that? Absolutely covered in mud. Because this is the reality of looking after animals, of country life, country living, and having to get jobs. You'll see, look, we'll be poo picking this later. Poo picking, mud shoveling, getting stuck in boggy waters, getting stuck in the mud, getting covered in food from the horses when they have mucky mouths, when they've had their dinners and they slurp it all over us. That is country life. So I do agree that while anyone can share whatever content they want, the bloggers who do look absolutely perfect and pristine with designer clothes cannot be living a true country life, because this is the reality. So I'll get off my high horse, I'll get off my rant. I'll stop doing my speech now, but this is the true country life. Let me pop you. Oh, can you see it there if I tie you? There you go. There we go, I can do a bit of tying. So this is a loose strand that has just been flung off and broken in the wind. So on another day, we will cut this away and we'll put all new wires in. But today, just to get this circuit back up and live again and to make the fence safe again, we're just tying it in a simple way. We're just tying it to get it out of the way. Oh my goodness. The weird thing is that, as you can see, it's all calm and peaceful. Let me show you. So the beautiful sun breaking through. Can you see that? It's all calm and peaceful, but yet we have to race to get hay to the animals. We race to get the hay out because they're hungry. Because look, all the grass is frozen over and frosty. So there's this strange juxtaposition where there's bird song, it's a chorus. The birds are awake, the sun's coming up, it's calm. Hopefully you can hear that. But then we are charging through this beautiful scenery with hay, dishing out the hay to the animals so they've got food to eat because the grass is frozen. We're making sure they're all warm. We're making sure that we're breaking the ice and then charging off to check the fencing. So we are moving very quick and our hearts are racing. We're heavy breathing and we're stomping through the ice and the mud. But everything around us is just stirring and quiet and peaceful. It's really interesting. So hopefully you can hear me and hopefully you can see me still. So this has all come off of its attachment. Can you see that? So it's loose and hanging. So this isn't good. We don't want this for the animals in case they catch their hooves, and we don't want it to break the circuit. So we just lift it up, tighten it up, attach it again, and then we've had another bit of wire here just come completely snap. See, in the 50-mile-an-hour winds, it's completely snapped. In all fairness, this bit of tape is quite old. We rent this land, we don't own it, so this was here from the previous tenants, so a bit of older wire has completely snapped. So we just tie it up so the circuit isn't broken, and we will spend another whole day putting in new fencing. But sometimes you have to do quick fixes when there isn't the time, and sometimes when there isn't the time or the funds to put in whole new fencing as well. You can see I'm carrying the battery around with me. This battery will give the energy to the fence. It is a car battery. That's what we use. This is frozen. See all this? This never floods usually. We've got flooding all across there, right the way down the field. See this? And it's all frozen as well. It's all frozen. The birds providing the relaxing soundtrack as I'm huffing and puffing. Oh, oh, all the icicles are breaking off all over the camera. That's good, isn't it? Good start to the day. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Ah. The thing is, you never know what you're going to find after a storm. This autumn winter we've had the most fallen trees that we've ever had at the sanctuary because we've had higher winds and more brutal storms here in England than we've seen before. It's quite difficult because you have to go to bed, go to sleep. You know, we don't live at the sanctuary. Wondering what you're going to find in the morning and just doing your absolute best in the midst of the storm like yesterday. Just doing our absolute best, putting the hay in the hay nets to keep it dry, to make sure there's plenty of extra hay to keep the animals warm, making sure the fences are all upright, and then just really hoping and praying and wishing that you'll turn up in the morning and that everything will be okay and safe as it is this morning, thankfully. So obviously a bit of broken fencing, snapped tape, snapped wire, loose wire, but nothing that we can't fix, which is brilliant. What we don't want to find is fallen trees, which then also gives kind of obviously escape routes to the animals and then entrances in to trespassers, so we don't want that. And obviously you just hope there's going to be no injuries as well when the animals gallop about in the storm. People ask, is it better to put the animals away or is it better to let them stay out in their fields in a storm? Better to keep them in their natural environment. If they're used to going in the stable in a cosy evening, then it may be best to put your animals in. Ours, we like to keep them as naturally as possible. They like to live out 365 days a year, unless there is illness or injury, in which case they come in. We've got stables, we've got what we call like a hospital pen, where they can come in for some extra TLC, some warmth, medicines, extra food, etc. But other than that, if they're fit and they're well, they are all out because that is where they're happiest. It's what they're built to do. The horses love to gallop and roam around. And it's best that if they do want to spook, if they do want to gallop and fly about and spin and buck and rear, that is their natural behaviour. They are flight animals, so we want them to be able to experience that and to let it all out. Whereas if they're not used to being in a stable, then they can feel really pent up and anxious. So we don't want that. So our animals are quite happy being out. Just to show you this, look. Oh, fence post is over. Oh. So that needs completely bashing in again. Proper fixes another day. If you're wondering why I'm not doing it now, it's because the ground is too frozen. That is another frustration. So we can't put any posts in the ground or push any fallen posts back into the ground when the ground is frozen because it's too hard. So the post won't bash back in. It won't break through the hard ground. It's really tough. So we have to wait for it all to thaw out, for the temperatures to warm up, and then we can put new posts in, take out old posts, or if that post can be saved, then we can bash it back in, which is great. If you're wondering, oh Anna, why do you not have a fencing person? It's just me and Mum. We run this sanctuary together, so we've had to learn the fencing skills. Look, another post down, completely on the floor like this. So pick that up. Let's see if this might go in, because the grass is a bit dewier here. Yes, that one will go in, so we can just push that back in, which is nice. It's just me and Mum. We do this together, so we have learnt the fencing skills that we've needed to run the sanctuary, which has been a whole learning curve, but also great. Okay, yes, it can be really stressful, and it can be really hard labour. Some days we do sort of 10-12 hours of fencing, but at the same time it's very satisfying at the end of it when there has been a problem fixed, and it's very mentally stimulating because some of you might remember last winter, so last January, February, the sheep kept getting out and we couldn't work out where they were finding their escape route. So again, very, very kind of stimulating. You feel a bit like an investigative officer trying to find out where this sheep, the cheeky sheep, have found their escape, and it was actually through here. It's a lot of brambles and bracken, I know, but through the brambles and bracken there is a slight tunnel where they can get through. But this is where sheep are very underestimated. They're very smart and very clever, and they worked out that although it looks like no animal could pass, there is a sheep-shaped hole that they could duck through. And fingers, I'm not going to say it actually, but you can imagine what I'm going to say. Touch wood, you can fill in the blanks. Touch wood, since then, not going to say it because then it will happen again. And then I'll be coming on the next live really, really upset because I'll have jinxed it. Yes, we are superstitious. Let me show you this. This is really, really fascinating. You can actually see the fleece in the trees from when they were escaping last winter. And it's quite incredible because you can watch where the sheep have been, how they've escaped, because they leave little tufts of fleece behind in the branches and in the bushes and on the grasses. So that also gives you clues, hence why we feel like investigative officers, private investigators, because you can kind of trace where they've been and mark their hoof prints and their footsteps and their movements. Can you see that? So this is where they were getting out originally. And the fleece is left behind. And how beautiful does that look with the morning dew and the sun reflecting? It's all sort of glistening. You see that? And then if you look behind, so we look behind there, you'll see it in the trees. I'll pop you down for a minute. Pop you down for a minute, you can have as I said, bird's eye view, but it's more like a snail's eye view, isn't it? Or a worm's eye view. They're very, very agile sheep, and again, they're not given credit for their intelligence, their smarts, their initiative, and they are very, very sneaky. So they certainly outwitted us last winter, but hoping that these fence fixes here mean that we don't have a repeat of last January or February, because it was exhausting. And of course the storms don't help. That should be okay, that will be on. And nor do the thorns and the bracken. They sort of come and take over. And they pull the wires down or up. It's really, really tough. Yeah, I should be wearing my industrial gloves, which are in the car. So I can't moan, can I? Can't moan. Oh gosh. Right, that should be okay. I shall do that another day, properly remove the thorns when I've got gloves. We go into our local coffee shop like this. The hilarious thing is, they said, "Oh, what do you do?" And we said about the animal sanctuary. And they said, "Oh, we thought you were two archaeologists." And it absolutely made our day. Not a great view of me, but a good angle on the fence, so we'll take it. I don't know if you can see all the water and the ice all melting all over the camera. Muddy hand cam. Hashtag real country life. Right, that should be fine. Okay, here we go. So we are now approaching the furthest point of the field, furthest away from the yard and the gateway where currently all the animals are eating their breakfast quite happily. That's why it's quiet. If you're wondering why the animals aren't following me, which they normally would be, it's because it's breakfast time. So this is the new battery, covered in mud. When I say new battery, I mean it's charged. It's charged. It's going to work. What's that? No. This is chopped. This has been chopped. What? It's not connected. It's broken. Are you kidding me? These cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Are you kidding me? It's chopped. Why is it chopped? Why is this chopped in two parts? It's actually been chopped. Okay, this is a total curveball that I didn't expect to get on camera or on a live. This has been chopped, you can tell. It's a clean break. It's been chopped so that the connection cannot run from the battery to the fence, so we have no way now of electrifying this fence. And I'm in shock, because why would anyone chop it? Who would chop it? This is also another peril of when you don't live at a sanctuary, you can't kind of always know what's going on. What do we do now? They are literally £300 and someone has chopped through the wire, which means we need a whole new box for this to work. Are you kidding me? That is a clean break. Can you see that? Well, I'm really sorry for those watching. I did not expect to see this on camera in live time, in live action. And I guess that is also the peril of live streaming. You don't necessarily know what you're going to find, and then something awful like this has happened. Someone has chopped through our wire, so we can't use this energiser that costs £300. Someone has chopped it, the wire, and now I can't connect the battery to the fence. Oh. This is absolutely horrendous. It seems someone has come along and chopped this. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. I don't know what their intentions will be. But there's no, we haven't done any strimming. We haven't done any sort of, bracken or weed maintenance. So there's no way it could have got chopped or, lawn mowed or anything like that. And also it's a clean break. It's a clean snap. If it got caught up in the animals or anything like that, I mean, it wouldn't, because you can see we've got a fence here that stops the animals coming anywhere near this kit, so we know it's not the animals, but also it wouldn't be a clean break like that. Right, well, I'm just going to do a final boundary walk to make sure there's no trees or bushes down or logs down along the final fence line, but that's really disturbed me. That's really shocked me. Oh my gosh. Why on earth would anyone do that? We'll also move the box closer to the yard, so when we buy the new box we'll have to move it, because we're not going to want it near this boundary fence and the furthest from the yard again. Now that this has happened, maybe we'll keep it a little bit closer. What is wrong with the world? What is wrong with people? I wonder if our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful followers will be able to help us. We're fundraising currently for £600 of vet bills. We're also fundraising for a big hay delivery because our hay prices have gone up in the cost of living. And now we're fundraising for a £300 fence energiser that we thought we were absolutely fine for a fence energiser. That wasn't a cost that we needed to find, and now we do. And this is sanctuary life. All sorts of things happen. Obviously the weather gets involved, accidents happen, kit gets old, tools get old. You get random happenings like this where you just can't explain what on earth's gone on. That is totally unforeseen. We didn't see that coming. And a big shock to be live streaming and to find that as well. Right, let's do this one more stretch of a walk, and it's looking pretty good so far. Oh, well, that has zapped my energy, I'm sure you can tell. That's brought me really down. I was in good spirits earlier, considering the work that needed doing and the aftermath of the storm, but now there's a whole big family of ducks. Things like that, big logs and heavy branches. Oh, that's heavy. Falling on the fence. Thank goodness it's not a tree. But it is a heavy log that needs moving, so it doesn't pull the fence down. That's why we have to do these walks. I'm just sorry that I'm in sad spirits now as we come to the end of our stretch, because that was really productive and proactive, and then to find that is horrifying. And especially to find it live streaming. We did not expect that, so that was just horrendous. And now we have to work out how we're going to fund a £300 Energizer. Very expensive bit of kit and very, 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 very vital bit of kit for the sanctuary. We cannot function without an Energizer to keep the fences on and the animals safe, to keep trespassers out and to keep the animals in. Pheasant. Oh, see, this is down. That was totally down. Oop. Pop that back up. Well, I was hoping to end this stream saying, oh, good news. The animals are all safe and well, which they are. That's the main important thing. The animals are all happy, safe, healthy and well and tucking into their breakfast, which is the main thing after a storm. The fence is all upright. We certainly do need another day where we are cutting back some thorns and some bracken, taking out some rotten posts, putting in some new posts, bashing them in, and of course we'll be filming all of that. We'll either be live on here or popping it on our YouTube channel, so do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We do weekly, or we either do weekly videos or every 2 week videos, depending on what's going on at the sanctuary. We're across all social media, on Instagram, Blue Sky. We are on Twitter, but we don't really use Twitter anymore. Facebook, we have a Facebook page. Please come and join us. We have a Patreon. We have 30,000 followers across all social media. We would love it if you came and joined us on YouTube. Imagine that, that would really help our sanctuary. Stay up to date what's going on, and our Patreon helps us to keep going. And we are saying as well that if even a quarter of our followers were able to join us for £1 a month, it would secure the financial future of our sanctuary. It would give us the security that we need. So please, if you can, spare a pound, please do come and join us over on Patreon. And we promise that we share lots of interesting and detailed updates, newsletters that we don't share anywhere else, podcast episodes. We have an exclusive Patreon podcast, photos, blogs, and lots more, rehabilitation journeys, rescue stories, and more. Oh gosh, so I'm going to say goodbye now and work out what we're going to do. I'm sorry that we ended in a bit more of a downbeat note, because that is a horrifying shock. And we say what is wrong with the world and what is wrong with people, but then again we've also seen the absolute kindness of strangers online and the absolute most amazing, kind, magical people that have followed us and supported us. So thank you to you, thank you for watching, thank you to our amazing patrons that keep us going. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, please join us on Patreon if you can. Now more than ever, we really need you. And I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.